Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Lynn Sanders, the magnetic story marketer and the host of the new show, The Difference Makers. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for taking time from your busy schedule to watch our show either live or on the replay. My passion is to spread inspirational stories from personal development leaders as well as nonprofit leaders so they can inspire, empower, and motivate you to be at your highest potential. And have we got a great show for you today. First, I want to ask each of you, if you can, to access the chat button on your left and write in your name and where you're hanging out from. We'd love to hear from you and grow our Difference Makers community. Also, after the show, our guest, Virginia Parsons, will stay on. Uh-oh, I'm hearing myself in my ear. Anyway, I am having a little bit of technical difficulty right now, where the echo is happening. One second, please. I think I have me on this show twice, so I'm going to ask you just to be patient with you. Oh gosh, sorry about that. I'm in the process of learning, as you can tell, and this is a great example of learning to fail forward and do my best. So I had myself on the show twice. I was listening and basically talking. But I wanted to let you know that I'm really excited to be here today. Give you a little background about myself first. I'm a writer, author, marketing consultant, and strategic attraction coach. I'm also a passionate social activist, and I love spreading stories that make a difference. And that's why I've brought our guest here today, Virginia Parsons. She's the Hangout mentor and the host of the Inspirational+Business+Woman show. Virginia, thank you for joining us today. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Lynn. It's great to be here, and I love being able to hang out with you as always, and I'm looking forward to sharing sort of my path with your audience today.
That's going to be really great. I wanted to give our audience a little background about you, some things they may not know. Virginia has credentials in both the physical, mental, and spiritual arena. She has an MS in health and fitness education. She is a clinical hypnotherapist and a certified coach, and she has practiced hypnotherapy coaching for 25 years. Today, she's going to give us her experience of transformation, as well as a personal experience that we all can learn from of how to tap into our subconscious. And then we're going to learn some of her tips of being a Hangout mentor, and she is a great one. So Virginia, can you first start by sharing your personal journey of transformation?
Well, it's a long one, Lynn, I guess I could say, because I've been around quite a few years. And so, you never know when you start your path in life where it's going to take you. And to me, that's part of the fun of the journey, because when you don't know where you're going, but you're open to where the flow goes for you, you can just attract so many wonderful experiences in your life. So I don't know how much going back the audience wants to hear, but just let me tell you a little bit about becoming a certified in health and fitness education, master's degree in that area, also certifications to the American College of Sports Medicine. And I thought my background was in helping people just achieve ultimate health and well-being. Right. And I managed a number of corporate fitness centers, and I really enjoyed that work because, that was really early on in my career where, they didn't have much available in the health and fitness arena as far as trainings were concerned. They just came out at that time. This is back in the 80s, and I said, well, let me learn everything I can about this, because I think health is the foundation for a place of well-being. And that all went into the spiritual side, because if you're not coming from a place of well-being physically, it's very hard to be balanced spiritually, emotionally, and the mind-body connection just gets, sort of off-wired, so to speak.
That's true.
So I was working, managing a corporate fitness center called Land's End. I'm sure some of you have heard of that company. And I had people coming to me, and I was training on stress management and, of course, physical fitness and weight management, all the things that a corporation wants their employees to take advantage of so that they have lower health care costs. Mm-hmm. And I had people saying, well, I know what to do. You're really great at informing me about the what to do. The problem is I'm having trouble doing it.
Right.
And so that's when I thought about, oh, the challenge of the mind and the body connection. Now, I have practiced yoga most of my adult life. I started at 20. Been doing it 45 years now, so that gives away my age. And meditation was a big part of my yoga practice. So when I was trying to help these people, I said to myself, how can I help them help empower the mind to do what they want to do but seem to keep sabotaging themselves over? And that's when I discovered the power of hypnosis and hypnotherapy, which is just using the tool of hypnosis to help people overcome sabotaging belief systems and all those things that they're not even consciously aware of that are basically directing their behavior.
Wow. So we all have operating within us this subconscious power, and some people are aware of it and some aren't, and you were able to tap into that through your knowledge and education.
Well, I mean, I knew that the mind-body connection was so vital, but I didn't at that point have what I felt was an important tool to really help them master their own thoughts, especially when they're subconsciously driven. Mm-hmm. So I went and took extensive training in hypnotherapy. Gosh, it was really a couple-year process. And when I went back to now, I wasn't gone for 2 years. I was still working at the corporate center, by the way, but I just kept going and getting more and more trainings and certifications. I went back to the health center, and I had people that said, use me, I want to try this new technique you have. So I didn't have the right space for this, so I was actually hypnotizing people well, this would have been women, in the locker rooms, and I was using the slamming of the lockers to deepen their trance.
Oh my gosh. That's unbelievable.
But they were open. You know why? They were desperate. They were like, I'm so frustrated with myself. So what they were reestablishing and re-imprinting over and over again is, I'm a failure. I can't do what I want to do, which just broke my heart because I know they could. It was just a matter of connecting the mind to the body and letting the intentions that a person has become empowered so they can overcome those resistant patterns of the past. So it worked beautifully. I was so excited.
Yeah. Well, you're definitely an inspirational person, even from the fact that this show started late, and I won't go into a lot of the details, but I must say you are inspirational just to let people know that they can overcome challenges and move forward. So I'd like you to share your personal story of what happened within your family that was a demonstration of the power of the subconscious.
Well, yes, I love sharing this story. I feel that this story, this experience, was brought to me for a very important reason, and that was to get this information out to other people on the power of the subconscious. So in my trainings, I continue to increase my knowledge base, as I said, in hypnotherapy over a couple of year period, very intensely. And I took a training in healing and hypnosis. It wasn't 3 weeks after I took that training that I was back working at the fitness center, and my daughter had an accident. She was only 6 years old, and she was on swim team. It was her first year on swim team. She was so excited and, stimulated by all this, and they were having a swim team party. And I was just on my way to pick her up from the end of the swim team party, and apparently she had gone up the high dive, which is like 12, 15 feet in the air, and she was fearless, she would just love swimming, but she was tired, apparently.
Oh.
Slipped and fell backwards.
Oh, my.
Her head on the concrete.
Oh, my
now,
God.
I just had arrived, so I ran in by her side. She was unconscious. And, of course, the mothering in me wanted to just, panic. But because I had just had this training, I went straight into my own zone.
Wow.
And started channeling all of the training that I'd had and just poured healing suggestions into her. And since I had a background in, health and fitness, and, I had already done training and helping, revive people, CPR training and all that, I had to have that. But I let the medics take care of that, and I just kneeled down by her head and I started just pouring suggestions into her for healing.
Wow.
She remained unconscious, and I kept saying to her, making suggestions, and what happened was she had to be med-flighted 45 minutes. So well, the drive was 45 minutes, so she had to be med-flighted to a location 45 minutes from there. So I poured all these suggestions into her, like when the helicopter was landing, she was going to feel, she was going to hear the sound, she was going to feel the air around her, and I would say to her, the doctor is coming, and when you hear the doctor's voice, you can just relax and let your body heal itself, and those kind of suggestions. So to make a long story just a bit longer, she was med-flighted, and I was not able to be by her side during that time, but I just poured suggestions in her for at least 30 minutes. We were waiting for the med flight to get there. So she got to the hospital, and she did come conscious right before she went onto the helicopter. I drove to the hospital and just went right into the room with her. She was in intensive care, and continued to pour suggestions into her. Now, she did not know. She was awake. She didn't know what I was doing. She was just in and out, so to speak.
Yes.
And anyway, she fully recovered. That's
amazing. Amazing.
She fully recovered, and the doctors were mystified. As a matter of fact, they said to me when I came out of the intensive care where she was, so I could talk to them, they said, "We can't believe she's not dead, but we also can't believe she's not paralyzed."
It's unbelievable.
So I have to finish this story for you because it's very, very powerful.
Yes.
A few weeks later, I was back at the Land's End Fitness Center resuming my job. And I overhear this conversation in the background between two men talking about this miracle child at the hospital that Lauren was at. And the more I listened, the more I thought, "You're talking about my daughter." They didn't know why I'd been gone for a week taking care of her. So I walked over and I said, "I think you're talking about my daughter." And they said, "We are?" And I said, "Yes." And he explained that his wife was the intensive care nurse that took care of her.
Oh my gosh, what synchronicity.
Yes. And they were trying to determine how she recovered fully from this with no side effects. So I never told anyone what I was doing. I was just doing it. And so what happened was I said, "Well, go tell your wife that I just had this training in healing and hypnosis, and I was pouring healing suggestions into her."
Wow.
So he came back to me and said, "Well, my wife said that explains everything, because what you were doing on a subconscious level was allowing her body to stay so calm that normally a lot of the brain damage comes from the inflammatory response from the stress hormones."
Oh my.
Swelling in the brain. And she didn't have any of that. And that to them explained how she fully recovered. And she could not have any pain medication while she was in the hospital because they wanted to follow her and make sure the pain is a sign that there is some bleeding internally. So I also gave her lots of suggestions for being aware that if something changed in her sensations, but that they were only sensations, so she could tell the doctor. But I never used the word pain.
Wow, what a gift you gave her that I would think most people would not be able to stay so calm under extreme pressure like that. That is really remarkable and something that I think we all can learn from. And now you're able to benefit with having grandchildren, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I'll tell you, the final beautiful part of this experience was when I was putting her to bed a couple days after the accident. And she just out of the clear blue said to me, "Mom," actually she said, "Mommy, I learned 2 things from this accident." And I said, "Really? What did you learn, honey?" And she said, "Well, number 1, I learned that my brothers really do love me because they showed concern for her. The third child, always getting picked on by the older brothers. But the second thing she said to me," she paused. We'd never had any discussion about this. She paused and said, "I learned that it doesn't hurt to die."
Wow.
And I just paused. I mean, the energy that flowed through me and connected with her was just so amazing. And I looked at her and I said, honey, do you have any idea what an important experience you just had? Most people go a lifetime and never have an experience that teaches them what you just learned.
Oh, my goodness, Virginia. That is such a
Yeah.
transformational story. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps.
I know.
So powerful.
And so for me, the transformation was, oh my gosh, the power of the subconscious to pick up information when it's unconscious. And I was trained about that. Actually, in the training, they gave several examples of how people can, through hypnosis, can actually recall the conversations that take place in the operating room when they're unconscious.
Right, right. I've read stories of people who have almost died or died for a short period and come back, and they could hear what was being said.
Exactly. Hear it and recall it. It's already recorded on a subconscious level. And the problem is, if the statements that are being made while the person is in that unconscious state, or I'll have to tell you, by the way, that a person also goes into that state when they're in a state of shock. So in an accident sort of situation where they may not be unconscious, but they're in a trance state because they're in a state of shock. And if paramedics or individuals are not careful with what they say at that point, the subconscious is wide open to receive that information and will act upon it, often literally. They'll take that information literally. So your words are so important, the words that you use around people in a stressful situation, when people are unconscious. Understand that they receive that information. So choose your words and make them powerful, healing, uplifting words.
Wow, what an important thing to remember.
That's the message.
Yes, choose your words carefully, because as you are illustrating, we all can be a difference maker if we live consciously, or as a colleague of mine said today, if we have compassionate intelligence and care for each other and see the connection. And you even went above and beyond that by staying calm in a very stressful situation. I wanted to give the viewers a really special opportunity that we're so grateful to have with you of a personal experience. You said you could lead us in a swing breath technique. Can you go through that for us?
I would love to. And what I'm going to share with you is something that I created. At least I'm not aware of anyone else who has done this exact technique, but it's something that I created to help people really transform their energy fairly quickly. Now, I didn't have time to do this, obviously, when my daughter had the accident, but I've just had enough experience in moving into a state of centered balance so that I can go there quickly. But for someone who is feeling off balance, this is a great and very simple technique that you can use, and I call it the swing breath. And the reason I call it the swing breath is because I ask people to imagine themselves on a swing. Now, I won't ask anyone to close their eyes right now, but when you do this on your own, that's what I suggest you do. Close your eyes and imagine yourself on a beautiful swing under a beautiful, tall, sturdy oak tree, and looking out to the most beautiful scene you can imagine, maybe a field of flowers or with wonderful fragrance around you. So bring all of those sensations into your mind as you start this exercise. And so once you start doing that, I want you to just start to take your breath with it. So your breath is an inhale as you imagine swinging back and up on the swing, and an exhale as you imagine swinging forward and up. So you want to coordinate the imagery of the swing going back with your inhale and the imagery of swinging forward and up with your exhale. Now, most people can do this really well because most people have a wonderful feeling about being on a swing. If you don't enjoy being on a swing, then this is not the method to use. Now, you add one more thing to it. So when you inhale, I want you to take your thumb and index finger and squeeze it together as you inhale and swing up and back in your mind. And as you exhale, release the tension between your thumb and index finger and swing forward and up. Now you keep doing that. You inhale and squeeze together as you flow back on the swing, and you exhale as you swing forward. And you keep doing this. Inhale and swing back and squeeze, and exhale and open and release and swing forward. Now very slowly as you continue to do this, allow the swing to slow down. And your fingers may or may not want to continue to squeeze and release because you're becoming so relaxed. And the swing continues to slow down as you inhale and you exhale. And you inhale and you exhale. And before you know it, the swing has become still. And you're just resting on the swing. Your arms are relaxed. And your breath is very, very quiet. And you've now arrived at a state of stillness. And you can take as long to do this as you want, or do it very quickly. We're doing it here quickly today.
Mm-hmm.
The point is that just by directing your mind and your imagination, adding your breath, because your breath really does help control your energy, and setting your intention to become still, you can create a place of calm within you very, very quickly.
Oh, Virginia, that's wonderful. I feel more calm myself. I'd love it if people would like to share in the chat how they're feeling right now. Just type in your name, and if you feel any difference from the start of the call till right now. I noticed, Virginia, your voice went slower and more steady, and it was putting us all in, I think, in a really calm state. Really felt
Well,
great.
the body heals in a calm state.
In
a calm state, you're changing over from stress hormones like, adrenaline, epinephrine, and all those stress hormones pulsing through your body into, the dopamine, those hormones that are the feel-good hormones. And that's where your body heals. It's a lot harder to heal when you're pulsing a lot of the stress hormones through your system. So becoming balanced and still, and then, set your intentions after you've done that, or imagine what your goals are, and imagine yourself having accomplished those goals, and from there, go out and do it and have fun with it. You're just going to be in a different state of mind, and energetically you're going to be in a very different state, and you're going to start to attract to you what it is that you really desire, instead of focusing on the fears and the stress that gets in the way of attracting to you what you desire.
That is so true. I am taking actually a strategic attraction coaching course right now, and we're all about focusing on what we want to attract in our lives versus that it's attached from us. We can attract whatever we want, and you gave a great demonstration. And what I'd like to do now is segue into one of your other passions, in addition to tapping into the subconscious power, or I should say maybe this is a supplement to adding to the subconscious power that we all have, and how to get our stories out, how to get our message out in a big way through the innovative way of Google Hangouts on Air. And you have now become a master at that. I really admire your savvy, inspirational business women show, and how you connect with so many people. Thousands of people are now your followers, and you have hundreds of thousands of views. Can you share with us some of your tips from your Google Hangouts on Air experience?
I would be happy to. I had no idea, we're talking about a transformational path, that I would end up here as a Hangout mentor. But you've got to follow your bliss, right? And I just found such passion for this tool. It's like I picked up a tool called hypnosis. Actually it was 27 years ago. I've been practicing hypnotherapy for over 27 years. And I picked it up at a time when it was not considered so cool. It was considered really controversial. And, I used that tool for many years, and then started working with people as a hypno coach really around the country, because people could not get to my office. I had people driving 3 hours to get to me. Well, that still wasn't practical. So when Hangouts came along, I said, wow, what a great technology to now be able to work with people at a distance. because
Exactly.
I can see them, I can hear them, I can see all the, what I call abreactions in hypnotherapy that help me help guide them and, give them the best coaching that I can. So I embraced Hangouts. I said I need to learn how to use this tool in ways that are going to really help benefit people, not only just for my coaching, but to uplift and inspire. That's really my passion. So I took to it like a duck to water, even though at first I was very intimidated by the technology. I said, I can learn this. I can
Sure.
learn this. And I did. So my first tip to you about Hangouts and Air is just get in and play with the technology. And so what if you screw up a little bit? It's fine. Go back and do it again until you become comfortable with it. Until you do what I say is become, well, in the beginning with Hangouts for me, I was feeling consciously incompetent in the
No,
technology.
really.
The more mistakes I made, the more fun I had with it, the more I played around with it, the more I became feeling unconsciously competent. So that's the first thing. Just get out and use the tool.
Okay.
Now, it's such a valuable tool for people to brand and market themselves. So if you are not using this incredible free technology, you're going to fall behind because it is absolutely the hottest new trend in marketing and branding yourself.
Exactly.
So just use it and get inside and play with yourself. You can go into the green room or you can go ahead and do a recording and put it on YouTube and just have it for you to look at yourself and see how you can improve. And then if you don't like it, delete it and do
Right.
another one. But the technology is there for all of us to use, so my passion has moved into helping people learn how to use the technology and create a state of feeling unconsciously competent with it, and then going out there making a difference with it in whatever way you can. For you, Lynn, it is the Difference Makers Media. For me, it's the Inspirational Businesswoman show. If you have a passion or you have a gift that you want to get out to the world, there's no better way to do it. Webinars don't do this for you. Teleseminars don't do this for you. Hangouts are one of the best ways to connect with your audience, to create interaction and engagement with the people who are watching you, and to grow a loyal list of followers. So I want to encourage everyone to just get out and start picking up the tool and using it.
I want to add to that, the exciting thing to me about Hangouts is that we can personally connect with our audience. Even though right now you and I are doing a one-on-one conversation, we have people listening both live and on the replay. We can connect with them afterwards, and we will invite people to come into the green room after this the broadcast is over, so we can personally engage. And that's so exciting, where you can see people and hear them and get to know them. That's what's great for me too. And then this all goes on YouTube, so then it adds to people's search engine optimization. It gets their awareness out on the internet.
Uh-huh.
Now you have some other tips, I believe, and also a gift for people listening. So I'd like you to share that as well.
Well, I did. I just put up on my lower third another site that I have available for you. And this site is called hangout-marketing.com. You can go to it directly, or easier yet, pick up your phone and type in the word success, SUCCESS, to the number 307-269-2040. Now, why do I want you to do this? Because I want you to start using this tool and using it effectively. On that site or through that text, you're going to be able to take a free assessment. This assessment's only going to take you a couple minutes, so go for it, because it's really a great way for you to determine and measure your skill set and your knowledge base using Hangouts on Air. And my goal is to help you reach new heights of visibility, social influence, and success using this tool. So this is a great assessment to help you see where you are and where you could go in using Hangouts to brand and market your business. Not only that, you might qualify for a free strategy session with me. So that's pretty valuable, and I think you might enjoy you and I hanging out and having that strategy session.
And I would just like to jump in and recommend this opportunity with Virginia to go to her website. I'll click on that again, the hangout-marketing.com. Take the assessment. I've taken it. It's a great assessment. Or text success to 307-269-2040. I also have had the benefit of some coaching from Virginia myself. We met as colleagues at the Hangout Marketing Intensive. She reminded me, I guess it's been over a year, but it's been really fun knowing Virginia and very enlightening. So I would recommend all of you take advantage of what Virginia is offering. I also am offering free marketing tips at parkavmarketing.com, parkavemarketing.com, where you can get a marketing assessment of your work. So Virginia, any closing thoughts for our listeners today?
I think the most important closing thought that I can share with you from my own life experience is, well, I'm going to give you two. We are energy. We really are energy. And our body is just one expression of that energy. You can direct and control and monitor that energy. And you can do it through your breath, you can do it through your thoughts, and you can do it through the words that you speak, and also the words you think, which goes in hand with your thoughts. So pay attention to them. And if you don't like what you're thinking, and it's creating a negative feeling inside you, change your thoughts, change your words, change your energy, and start feeling better. The best thing you can do for yourself is do just one thing that helps you feel better, and everything else will start moving in that direction.
Oh, I love that. I love that, Virginia. I also would like to share with our viewers a quote that I think taps into the positive energy, which is love, that we all have within us. And it's a quote from Harold Kushner, who says, "We all have the power to give away love, to love other people. And if we do so, we change the kind of person we are, and we change the kind of world we live." And Virginia, you are a very loving being. I am so honored and gratified to know you. And I'm so grateful to have all of our people listening, whoever you are. Please stay with us if you'd like to ask questions to Virginia after the broadcast in our green room. And I want to wish you all the best for a very happy and healthy life and new year ahead. We are going to be continuing to have the Difference Makers show on a weekly basis. So I will be sending out notifications on Google, and feel free to be in touch with me, Lynn at differencemakersmedia.com. If you feel you'd like to share your story of transformation and you have something you'd like to offer our guests. So again, Virginia, thank you. And everyone, please stay on if you'd like to have some questions, and have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.